Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Nice to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Today I want to talk to you about your local fish store, your aquarium shop, your local fish shop, whatever it is you call it, and how important they are to the hobby, or to see whether or not you agree that they are important to the hobby, and if they're dying, what can we do to help? Everyone says that the internet is killing the high street, and while that might be true in many cases, is it really true for your local fish store? Certainly, we have lost a lot of local fish stores and a lot of good shops as well as bad. But how true is that? Are the good ones surviving? And I posit, are they surviving because of the internet rather than in spite of the internet? While there are online versions of shops, and many shops these days are both online and offline, and you have that combination of the two, one of the things I always think about is yes, you can buy lots of things on the internet, and often it is cheaper, often it is convenient. But there are downsides to that as well. And I think the really good shops are something that should be cherished, something that should be protected if we want them to stick around. We kind of have to help with that. But those good ones, they're not pretending the internet doesn't exist. They're not fighting against the internet. They're using the internet to their advantage. And it's no mistake that a lot of the really good shops these days, you'll see they have a really strong social media presence. Whether it's your in the UK, it's your Wharf Aquatics, your Premier Aquatics, there are dozens and dozens of shops who have Facebook feeds, Instagram feeds, showing all their good practices. And to me, that's one of the greatest pulls of any good fish store is you can see that it's all readily available. It's combining the best of both worlds in that you get the online and the offline experience. You can see that they are running a really clean shop maybe, or that they have lots of really good diverse selection. They're bringing in new fish all the time. They are showing often their fish husbandry, that they're keeping the shop clean, they're doing good biosecurity, they're sharing regular updates. You can see stock coming in, so rather than just turning up on a wing and a prayer and seeing whether or not they have that particular angelfish you're looking for, you might see them unbox it and can pop down that afternoon. So the good shops are embracing social media, they're using it to their advantage. And I've seen a lot of arguments of, like, Aquarium Co-op, for instance. He's only successful because he's got a YouTube channel. That might have some strings of truth to it, but anyone can have a YouTube channel. So it's a tool that's out there for everyone. So you might not want to be YouTube being the focus of your business, but why wouldn't you want to use it as a part of your business to help your business? So anyone can do this, and I think it is one of the reasons the really good shops that are surviving do have this strong online presence. But that alone is not going to keep them going. It isn't easy to run these shops. I say this as if I'm an expert. I don't run a local fish shop, but there are challenges to all businesses these days, and they really need our support. If we want local fish shops to stick around, we're going to have to support them, and I think we should do that. And I will now posit some reasons why we should do that. The number one reason, the main reason I think we do that, is because you get to personally pick your thing. You order some plants off some random website, like aquariumadventures.co.uk. I pick the plants that you get. You go to a shop, you pick the plants that you get. So there might be 3 Amazon swords. I'll have the nice fresh big one at the back rather than the one at the front that looks a little bit limp, which is still fine, but you pick the one you want. You pick the fish you want. You pick out of a tank of discus, you get to see which one's really active and inquisitive and a really nice shape and moving around, probably, rather than a stock picture of a fish off the internet and you'll get something that resembles it. The power of you using your own judgment and seeing with your own 2 eyes the thing that you want to buy, it's just irreplaceable online. So that is and of itself is the main reason, and should be the only reason you need to keep these places going. Next one is they are there as your fishy emergency service. Your heater dies at 3 o'clock on a Friday. Can you wait until Monday to get the new one shipped to you, or Tuesday or Wednesday, or whenever it comes, or can you drive to your local fish store and pick one up? Yes, you might pay £1 or 2 extra, but that is invaluable because it's saving the lives of your fish. This is something that we dismiss all the time, saying, oh, local fish stores are too expensive, they're too out of touch with what you can buy online. Yes, big box stores online will be able to sell things cheaper because they'll have lower margins. But the good, surviving local fish stores, their dry goods is a hard market for them to win on. It will be a little bit more expensive, but the good ones aren't putting on huge markups that we used to see 5, 10 years ago, where the cost of a product might be, I don't know, if it's £5 to buy a heater wholesale, you could buy it on Amazon for £6, but you'd buy it at your local fish store for £20. You'd be like, why am I? That doesn't make any sense. But nowadays, I think the best ones are a lot more savvy that they need to make a margin, and I think that's fair. But they're making a much more reasonable margin, so as they're not directly competing with the internet, but they're getting a lot closer and making it more of a judgment call for you as to whether it is something that's worth it for you. I'm happy to pay a couple more quid for something if I need it there and then I can go and get it. Similar things for medicines, any equipment, food, whatever, something that you run out of or you don't have that you need in a pinch, you can go and get it. One thing that I think is often undersold is the benefit you get from a face-to-face interaction with someone. So if you talk to somebody, these fish shops, the good ones, and again, I'm heavily leaning on the good ones. The bad ones, we can make a whole other video about them, but the good ones that we want to survive, they are community hubs. They are hobbyists. They have been breeding fish themselves for longer than we can remember. They are properly into this. They know their stuff. They're, like I say, community hubs. People who are into fish gather at these places. You can make connections. They're part of clubs. We will speak at groups and things like that. So these are places where you can get actual advice and face-to-face advice with someone like that. Even over text advice with someone like that, the nuance that gets lost over text is just, it makes such a difference in my eyes. Even when you may have come across this yourself, when you're having an email back and forth with a colleague at work or something like that, and you say something completely innocent and they take offence to it because they've read into it some nuance that either wasn't there or vice versa was, when it wasn't meant to be. That is, when you're getting advice off the internet, whether it's listening to a video like this when I'm talking to you and saying, yeah, you should do this, that, and the other, you might interpret that differently. But when you're actually involved in the conversation and talking to the person, and especially if it's a fish shop you're used to and you go to a lot, they get to know you. They know that you've been buying Oscars and that maybe buying guppies to go in the same tank isn't necessarily the best idea. They know your experience level, how to pitch it at you. It's just a lot more efficient way to get advice, and not even for advice, even if it's just to belong to that community. It's so invaluable. So while I maintain that the good local fish stores are there and they need to be supported, they don't survive because of the internet. So the social media and the internet and YouTube doesn't make them good, but it shows us that they are good. So it is a tool in their arsenal that I would love to see more adopt and use more often. But don't just watch them. Don't just give them a link. Give them a like, give them a follow, give them all that things, but go and visit and spend some money there. That's the bit that actually keeps them running, because they have other pressures on them. The taxis, rates, whatever that might be, it's expensive to run a local fish store. And I hope I've articulated some of the reasons why it's worth saving them, because if we want this hobby to survive and thrive, we need to support them. So get out there, visit your local fish store. So with that said, one of the most common comments that I get on some of my videos or on my social media is someone will say, hey Graham, do you know of any good fish stores in Newcastle or Cardiff or Birmingham or wherever? And I'll be like, no. I didn't understand why people didn't just Google it, like local fish shop in my area, until I Googled it. And I realised that it's not very clear and not very easy to find a fish shop. So whether you're looking for your local fish shop or you're planning a tour and you want to support these shops, but you don't know where they are or whether they're any good or not, yeah, Google is your friend to go and look these things up, but it isn't your friend in this case, because what I found is you type in local fish shop and you will get a fish and chip shop, you will get a animal feed supplier, you'll get a saddle maker, you'll get a dog groomer, a regular pet shop. All these other things will all be bundled into that same search. And I've done a little bit of digging and I found out why. It's because the way the Google algorithm works is it does have a group called Aquarium Shop, but basically it looks for anything that's got pets mentions fish or aquariums in any way, and then your dog groomers get bundled in there because their website says things like, oh, when Fido comes for his haircut, we'll give him some fresh treats, some dried sprat. Must be an aquarium shop, we'll list it there. Same with saddle makers, is because they use some kind of fish oil to rub into their saddle, so it becomes an aquarium shop. So it's really hard to find your way through the wheat and the chaff. So I've had a little play around and I've done something which I hope now you can help me with and see if it's A, useful, and B, whether or not it's something you can help me develop and make better. So I had a little time on my hands, and what I've done is I've added something to my website called the Local Fish Store Finder. For the moment it's just for the UK, and it's a search tool where you can go in and type in a place. So type in a town, and for a 15-mile radius it'll give you all the local fish shops in that area. You can type in the name of a shop if you don't know where it is, and it'll give you a map. It'll tell you its opening hours, it'll tell you a little bit about it, maybe give you its social media links, phone number, anything else, Google reviews, anything you can think of. I've tried to list anything that might be pertinent or useful information, but I need your help to go out and check it, because I won't bore you with the technical. Well, I will bore you. I will bore you with the technical details now. How I've done it is essentially done a scrape of Google for everything that's in the category aquarium shop or anything related to that. That then gave me like 15,000 results, including all the dog groomers, the nonsense chaff. So then I had some scripts to write to clear out the stuff that were clearly nonsense. That got me down to like 8,000, and then I went through manually taking out conflicting categories and paring it down and down and down to where I've got to a point where I think I'm kind of close. But I could use some help, so if there will be a link in the description, go and check it out. It's free, it doesn't cost any money, all completely free. You don't have to sign up, you don't have to give away your email address or anything like that. Check out your area. If you live in the UK, or even if you live in America, type in a town in the UK. Click on it, see what it throws up. Are your favourite local fish stores there? If they are there, give them a review. There's an option to leave a review on my site, and my hope is that over time it will be actual real fish fans that will use this more often than not, rather than just general members of the public, and there'll be a build-up of really insightful, useful reviews of, right, these are fish keepers giving fish keeper reviews of fish shops. They should be more useful than just random customer. Leave a review, say if it's good or not, partly to test whether or not the technical side of things is actually working and you can do these things, partly to start building up that review. If you missed something, there's my favourite shop is X Aquatics and it's not listed, let me know. If you find something that's nonsense, so you've searched for your hometown and it's thrown up a dog groomers that I've missed or something like that, let me know. You can let me know on Discord, by email, by commenting. There's a contact me form at the bottom of the page that you can send me anything that you find. If you own a fish store and you want your shop to get listed because it isn't listed, there is an option to do that. You will have to submit your email to do that part of it. Or you can just contact me and say, oh, what about me? You missed that. I have scraped the data together to get everything like useful information like opening times, all that kind of stuff. I don't have many pictures. There's one thing I couldn't get was pictures, but I've started adding pictures. So over time, whenever I get some time, I'll start adding pictures to listings. But there's like 2,000 odd listings. It'll take a while to get through them all. I just want you to go and check it out. If it's any use to anyone, great. That's my little bit of helping the hobby. If it's no use, it's not hurting anyone either. So we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to put together something that, if I have any kind of soapbox to say, this hobby needs good local fish stores, we should support good local fish stores by going to use that. I know I buy things online all the time as well, so I need to do more myself. I'm not saying I'm completely brilliant myself. We need to get out there, we need to do that. Maybe I could start a series of doing local fish store tours, highlighting some of the best ones and linking them in with the listings on there. If you own a shop and would like me to come and visit, let me know if that's something you're up for. Anyway, I've said my piece. It's down to us now as a community, if we want these places to survive, to get out there and have a crack at it. Have a look on my website. Like I say, I'll leave the link down below. Go and check it out. Let me know whether it works or not. Come along to my Friday night live stream, 9 PM UK time. Maybe we can discuss some ideas there. Give me some feedback face to face ish. Well, no face to my face. You know what I mean. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for listening to this public service announcement. Bye.